Delightful. Sweet. Oh, hey Shay. What's up, buddy?
Oh, hey. Working,
Garrett, how you
working in
doing,
the
buddy?
office today, huh?
Oh yeah.
Did you grow that beard just over the weekend?
That's what everybody says. I've had like two, and I'm like, no, it's been like 4 days since you've last seen me, and no, my beard has not grown that much. But yes.
Is it a clip-on beard?
Yeah. Oh, it looks like Cassandra has joined us. Welcome.
Yeah, I've been here. I just had my camera cover shut, so.
Oh,
like,
gotcha.
why do I
Nice.
see just black when I look at my window? No, I'm here. I think I was in Antarctica for the last one of these, so. But I'm back.
Antarctica, so cold.
Yes, I spoke at Antarctica, so I was in South America and Antarctica for a couple weeks. It was fun.
Nice. I think the primary question that everybody is asking is Katie around, and can we see her?
Katie, come here. Yes.
Oh my God. Wait, where did Zoom go? I'm in the wrong window. What is that? Oh my God. Oh
There's
my God.
Katie.
Oh my God, so cute.
She thinks she needs to
freaking
sit
out
on
right
my
now.
lap during meetings, so, you know.
Oh, so good. Hi, Katie. Welcome to the MacOS working group. You can be our mascot.
She's not impressed.
Oh, so good.
She's a funny little dog.
Yeah. Welcome, Tommy. Let me bring up the chat channel on the side. Sweet. Oh, well, how's everyone doing? Pretty good?
Yeah, good.
Good.
I am still trying to wake up from the weekend. Shay, looks like you made some pull requests this morning by the looks of things.
Yeah, I was busy.
I like it.
Do you want to talk about that stuff, or you want to just blow
Yeah,
over it?
yeah, let's do it. I don't think we have anything else better to do, so we
Okay.
can do that.
Well, so it's good. It's a good opportunity to talk about stuff. So I finally got around to rebasing the. I guess the most immediate one is that I got rebased the developer command line tools module, or the Mac software update module, and did a new PR for that. So of course there were no conflicts or anything. I don't know why it took me so long. When I actually sat down to do it, it took like 1 minute.
All good, buddy.
So, I mean, I guess the only thing is, like, I used that at SAS and it seemed fine, but it would be great to have another set of eyes just to make sure, since it does seem like very different behavior than what we had in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at the last one and it looks good.
Yeah.
Are we not currently using it, Shay? I thought we.
I don't know.
In case
the only
anybody's
reason-
curious, Shay and I now work together. So, but I don't know. Let me check our internal.
I mean, the only reason I can think of to use it would be for the developer command line tools calls into it. And I don't know. I haven't looked at that yet. So I would just be interested to see, like, does it still work now that it's, what are we on, 10.15.3? 10.15.4 is out? Is it? The developer
No,
preview?
.4 is not out yet, but
Okay. Well, either way, I mean, you know, it's been 3 versions since I've tried it, so probably
okay.
wouldn't hurt to just double check it.
And then for anyone who's curious, Garrett, do you mind taking a look at that PR?
Sure.
I mean, yeah, whenever you get a moment.
I'll just drop everything for you right now, Wes.
Oh, you're the man. I love it.
Let's see.
How we do.
Well, I like that it has a test. That's awesome.
And a lengthy one at that.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the issue is just that is output that, I copied and pasted 6 months ago or whatever. So who knows if they've changed it or if, there's any issues. Because we're not obviously running it live against Apple's software update server. We're just faking it.
So, I mean, if you wanted to, would this be something, is there like a simple like software package that you could install in like an integration test if you actually wanted to, like, obviously like pin this so it only runs on the Macs that we have in place. Right. But is there something like you think you could install just to make sure that it does install like live, not like in a mocked environment?
I don't know. What do you think,
Wes?
Command line tools?
Shay, I mean, that's like the only thing that you can do on demand, right? Like the only thing that can be trusted to be there.
Yeah. Because we don't really get any visibility into all the packages, like conditions. We have no idea what it's doing to determine what it needs to install other than just receipts.
What you mean for the command line tools?
No, I mean for software updates in general.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I think that like the command line tools is going to be the only thing to do here because there is, let me see if I can find it. I had Frogger like reverse the whole like command line tools. Mm-hmm. And it's very amusing because this is what it does. Zoom do code highlighting. I'm assuming no. But yeah, it literally looks to see if that one file is there and then returns true for if it is to like install it in the chat over there. So yeah, I think like the command line tools is something that we can actually, if we wanted to do like an actual integration test.
I think that's probably the only one. Like you said, I think it's probably the only real one you realistically would want to do anyway. I mean, I feel like in general, what we're getting from Apple is that we're supposed to just let it run on autopilot, not mess with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious, like if I mean, the mock tests, the unit tests are good, but obviously, like they're
very much tethered to just the output.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, which is good. I mean, you want to make sure that like if someone changes something in the code that the test will fail because the output's wrong. But it would be good to know like ahead of time, like, oh, if Apple has changed something or something went like wrong outside of
Hi, Walter.
Test. So something to think about.
Okay, yeah, so there's Catalina and Mojave test cases here. I think the output pre-Catalina was the same, right, Shay? So like even from like High Sierra, those tests should be valid there too.
Well, it's split up, so it'll test both.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, because your Mojave test will actually cover more than just Mojave.
I think those were there too. I can't remember now. It's been a while, but
yeah,
I think those tests were already there. I may have added a few, or maybe there weren't any. I don't remember. It's been a while.
All right, so do you want to try and do the integration test, or what do you want to do?
We can try. I haven't done any of those, so I assume there's a good resource to get started on that
I mean,
somewhere.
yeah, I haven't done it
Yeah.
either. So
I mean, I wouldn't make it hold up this PR. I would go for like a second one. The one.
Well, I have a Xcode command line developer tools module that I haven't even submitted yet, so it could just go with those.
Yeah, that would work. The one bit of review feedback I had on the PR, it looks like there's a lint error, and it's something that we changed recently, where we're no longer gating tests of whether or not the mock libraries are there. We're just assuming that they're always there. So it's just a simple. I think there's probably like a skip if in there that just needs to be removed. But yeah, other than that, it looks good to me.
Okay. Cool. Well, and then Wes, the other ones you were. Oh, go ahead.
I was just. You can go ahead. I'm busy looking at the actual tests.
Okay.
That ran.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say. So the other stuff you saw from me weren't PRs to Salt. They were to the Salt OSX Mosin repo.
Yeah.
There's a fix for the Wi-Fi one. That's pretty simple.
The community bits.
And and then the other one is I had been sitting on this hostname module for a really long time, and for some reason getting the momentum to send a PR to Salt proper was just keeping me from doing it. So I just put it into the Mosin repo for now, at least, and let's at least make it available. But then I know that you just have your own similar one that you just wrote.
Yeah.
I was just surprised that there isn't already a hostname module in Salt.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if I say we can. Should we just take what we have and PR it to core?
I mean, the burden there is we need tests.
But you're so good at writing tests, Shay.
I know. But that's exactly it. That's what's kept me back from doing it, is just all the kind of test stuff and then just the lint busy work. It just hasn't seemed like a super pressing need to me. It would be nice to have, but also I was like, well, if Salt doesn't have a hostname module, for example, something tells me nobody's really just hungry for a hostname module. Like, there's no rush. Plus, it's also like the submission from us for a hostname module would very much be a Mac hostname one. It would not be like, oh, let us write one for every other platform.
Is there I guess the question is there a hostname state or something similar for other platforms that we can leverage?
I could swear I've looked and I couldn't find anything.
Saltstates.host, host.present. Looks like this is just managing Etsy hosts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not the same thing.
So you were looking for one that actually sets the host name of the machine.
Right. And on a Mac, it's like unnecessarily complex. And I think that was part of the other barrier for entry, is that unlike on a Linux machine, you just set the host name and you're happy. On a Mac, there's like host name, local host name, compute show up in different places depending on, are you looking at something in the GUI? Are you looking at something on the network? Trying to SSH to something? Are you in a Windows environment?
So we do have, and posting in the Zoom chat, there's a function in the network module called mod hostname that looks like it is set to set the host name. It's probably not. It probably doesn't have anything like Mac specific in there.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a state for that?
I'm betting there's a network state that probably calls that. Looks like it is in. Yeah, so the network state has a function called system that looks like takes care of that stuff. Again, don't know if it's has anything that's Mac specific.
Oh, I would almost guarantee it doesn't. But I guess the idea was we could use that state and then just write the Mac specific execution modules. What is this? States network. Network.manage.
Salt.states.network.system. I can see why I would never have found this.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, there's definitely a hostname parameter in there.
Apply hostname. True. Yeah, well, that would give us something. I mean, if that's where we would want to put it, that would give us something to start with at least.
Yeah, because that's.
I mean, there's also there's a Windows specific networking module. So if it looks like that the network module is going to be too difficult adding Mac specific stuff to, you could always just branch out and make a Mac network module, and then within the state module just call that if it's on the Mac.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm just curious at how complex this actual network state is.
I would guess that the network state is fairly simplistic. Probably a lot of the heavy lifting is being done by the network module.
Yeah, I'm just curious because there's a lot of like, it looks like you can like set the IP address and like do all of this other fun stuff that would be fascinating to write the Mac side of. To the actual code, not just the documentation.
I mean, while you're digging through that, the amusing part of all this is that I know that Wes and I have already had at least 2 different conversations where we talk about how stupid host names are in the first place. So the idea of us spending a lot of time making this.
They're kind of a antiquated concept.
Right.
At this point.
Yeah, my assumption, or not really assumption, but I think my thought would be that this is extremely low on the things we should clean up.
I think let's just, the more we're looking at it, I'm like, yeah, this gives me, if I ever get really bored, this gives me a hook to like attach it to in the main thing. But let's just keep it. Let's merge it into Mosen's thing, and then it's there if people need it. And we'll worry about that if it ever just blows up in popularity. We've got to have this.
Yeah.
I think well, do you have anything more to say about that, or are you good with that?
Nope. Other than the fact that I'm thinking that we could add the Wi-Fi one underneath the network. But
Mm.
yeah. But
Yeah,
no,
I mean,
that's pretty much it.
that's another one. Do you really want to write the tests for that?
That would be probably the most gnarly first like test case to write ever. Like, here's a
I
bunch of
imagine
Objective C code to write tests for.
I imagine it would involve hours of screwing around in the Python interpreter, like trying to trigger things, or calling those Cocoa functions and seeing what they return,
Yeah,
because the docs on them are not very clear.
yeah,
I mean, that mistake or that bug that I fixed, it's largely because whoever wrote it, I guess was it you or was it Mosen? Just assumed that it would always return a list, but it just doesn't.
yeah. I never tested that on a VM. Which, yeah, without a network or the core WLAN on a VM, it just gets real sad. But what else? Oh, so kind of sort of shifting gears. Where is it? We got asked to look at a PR that would adjust some stuff in the Mac package state. Now I'm just trying to
Okay.
figure out where.
Is that the brew one?
No, this is for actually installing packages like macOS packages,
Oh, okay.
not brew packages.
The state for that or for the execution module?
The state.
There's a separate state for working with Mac package.
Yeah, it's the Mac package state, which allows you to like install macOS packages and then copy things from DMGs or like move .app files to the applications folder. Where in the world? Okay. This is entertaining. Let's see here. Okay.
I'm kind of surprised that exists, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought it's kind of like the solid way to just have it use the package state and have it in turn call a Mac specific execution module.
Well, and I think the reason for that is because the package, for better or for worse, doesn't the package state do brew?
Yes. I think the default package state uses brew. But this, come on, what is going on here? How hard is it to copy? Wow. Okay. Thanks, Zoom. Are you gonna let me type in the chat then? I guess not.
Do you have your Mac in
What
dark
in the
mode?
world? There we go. Jeez. When in doubt, close it and reopen it. Yeah. The pull request that I just posted in the little channel. So it's down near the bottom. So basically someone is adding some, I believe it's like requisite changes. And there was an implementation of something similar inside of the Mac package state. And basically he went through and he's like, I don't think this actually works. And I was like, that's probably fair.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not so caught up on how the whole like requisite state works on the back end.
So to me, this looks like at some point someone tried to add requisites, like requisites into the Mac package state itself, not relying on the ones that are across like all states.
Yeah, the core ones, I suppose.
Yeah. Huh.
But yeah, basically the ask was, yeah, he basically wanted to remove the one in the Mac package state and then have it use the global one.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, that sounds great. I don't actually use it. Shay, do you have any history with the Mac package
Oh,
state?
I see.
Never used it.
Yeah. Um,
Well, actually, is that true? I might have plan B'd it for Monkey, but I can't remember.
yeah, because I mean, I was going to use it here soon with writing our plan B for Monkey, but
But yeah, I didn't have any requisites with it.
okay.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, look and see what this is exactly doing, and it looks pretty. It looks like it's just commands. So like commands that you would run through like the CMD module.
Yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, did this other thing I got pinged on? Oh, that's the Salt community one. Oh, that's never mind. It's in the formulas. And then this was, there's a PR to basically fix some of the formulas for macOS in terms of like managing the Salt minion and the Salt master. And I think when I was looking through this, does it use? Wait, unless, is that one that got removed? Because oh, okay. I think I actually see why it got added. So, in the mod run check on the Mac package, the unless parameter is actually used here. I don't want to copy permalink. Is that what I want? There we go. So it looks like one of the formulas actually uses that.
Uses that only if unless specific.
Uses the uses the unless. So I wonder if that will break this formula.
If it's using the syntax for that implementation specifically, it probably will.
Does that syntax look like the normal global syntax?
No, not at all.
Okay, yeah, it definitely doesn't look like it.
Yeah, the global one, actually you reference other state calls. So like
Oh,
if you wanted
yeah.
to do, like if you wanted to do a CMD, you'd have to say CMD and then or CMD run, no, not run, whatever the state call is for CMD, the CMD function. And then you'd have to say what other state call within a state file to do. This one looks like it's specifically, you say like run this command, and then based on the output, if it returns true, if the return code is true, then it's good to go. But it's like specific to just calls to CMD.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah, any formulas would have to be updated. And so this is potentially like a breaking change that would break people's states. So we would, the right thing to do here would be like a deprecation, and then plan for it in like whatever the release after sodium is going to be, probably.
Okay, so do the deprecation in sodium, like the warning, and then deprecate it the following release?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right, I updated that pull request. That's a bummer. But guess that's what we got to do.
Yeah, no,
and
definitely. We don't want someone coming back and like in the next release saying like, you broke my formulas, you broke my states.
Yeah, exactly. Are like the community formulas, are those actually used a lot? It looks like they are.
I think it depends on the formula, but yeah, a lot of them were used pretty extensively.
Yeah, because I've never, I guess there was just not, there just wasn't a lot of like macOS formulas. So like I never really looked at them and used them.
Check out the Vim formula though. Trick out Vim.
Wait, where? There's a Vim formula? Is that in bin? No, kitchen.
Oh, cool. You can use it to set up all your salt syntax plugins and indent plugins.
That's kind of cool.
Wait, what is this macOS package repo formula?
Is that Jeremy?
No. Task.show notifications. Oh, okay. Interesting. And then, oh, actually, speaking of the formulas, if everyone doesn't mind taking a look at this PR for the formulas. So basically it's moving a lot of the like launch D stuff to shell outs. And my recommendation was to use the actual service module, and if it's broken, we should probably fix it. Except he's getting some really weird errors when trying to like manage the Salt Master launch daemon.
Yeah, I would agree with you on the first point there. Like command.run should be used very sparingly.
Oh yeah, 100%. I get queasy every single time I see that in a state. It's like, no, we can do this better.
So is this the one you were referring to like 4 days ago where trying to use launch CTL?
Yeah,
Load?
he does a lot of load and unloads.
Well, I mean, that's problematic too, because that's deprecated syntax for launch cuddle.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, so yeah. Wait, where is he pulling the? Wait, what is this issue?
Oh wait, can
Work.
I point something out that's kind of strange? So it looks
Yeah.
like you're asking if you could try changing the name from saltmaster to com.saltstack.saltmaster or salt.master. And so he's running launch cuddle and then doing the RM FR on the salt minion file and then pasting an error about saltmaster.
Oh yeah, I did. I did notice that. I wonder if he. I wonder if that was just a typo paste.
Okay, I was just wondering if I was missing something obvious there.
No, you're 100% correct. I noticed that as well. But yeah. Yeah, because his other output below has the Salt Master in it. But yeah, so the reason, let's Salt minion path has changed. On macOS breaking homebrew? What? Oh. Okay. But yeah, so there's one issue with, and I'm not sure if we've covered this one before, but if you try and have the salt minion restart the salt minion service on macOS, it won't complete, because as soon as you like unload the service, then the service isn't there anymore to reload it, if that makes sense. Is that the same on like other platforms?
No, I don't think so. I do remember us talking about this before in a previous meeting. So if you,
Yeah.
so basically like the process to restart it is you unload it and then like load it back again. But once you've unloaded it, it's not there anymore, right? So
Yeah,
Salt
so
doesn't
it,
know
yeah,
to,
yeah, that process dies, right? Because you just killed the process that initiated the unload.
yeah. I know we've had this issue in the past, and it's been resolved, but obviously not on Mac. The whole
Yeah.
like the chicken and egg problem of like using Salt to restart Salt, and so there were a number of workarounds, but I believe it's been addressed actually within the Salt the service module now. So I'll try and dig that up, and we might need to do something. Specific to Mac. I assume it's like if you're using, it's the same case, right? If you're using Salt to try and restart Salt on Mac, is when you
Yeah.
run into this. Okay.
Yeah. So I think my recommendation was to, is there actually a, I think there's already an issue. No, that's not the same one. Maybe it got closed due to that lovely stale bot. Where is that?
So what would be the right approach to doing that if you can't unload it to like being able to restart Salt on a Mac?
I think you probably have to have another launch daemon there that would respond to a touch path, right, Wes? So on the way out, if you know you're going to unload the minion, you would touch that path, unload, and then hopefully it'll load again, maybe with a delay.
Yeah, I think that's what Windows does, actually. But I think it all depends, though, if you've modified the actual launch daemon itself, or if you just need to restart the Salt service. Because if you want to restart the service, you can just run Kickstart.
Mm-hmm.
But if you run Kickstart, like launchctl Kickstart, that doesn't include any changes to the actual like launch daemon. So if you've changed that, it won't pick that up.
Does it care about the minion config or just the launch daemon plist?
So it should, if you run a Kickstart, it should pick up minion config changes.
Okay. So do we need to cache like a checksum of the launch daemon? See if it's changed on the way out. Like, you know, if it hasn't changed, you can kickstart it. If it has changed, then you need to do something a little more elaborate.
Should we, that's interesting. Should we like actually care about that logic, or should we just leave it up to the person to do that in their states?
I don't know. It's super confusing, so I feel like if we can provide that already.
So we could do, so the thing that like Salt doesn't actually support right now is, where is the service state? Hopefully I can actually work on some of this stuff.
So just going back to that real quick, like with that plist file, the launch daemon plist file, how likely would you say it is that would change?
I don't think it. You shouldn't change it hardly at all.
But you could. I changed it once.
Yeah, and I think we still do. But yeah, I don't know. I really doubt people should be modifying that. Like, I know we modified it to work around an issue in the early Catalina betas.
Right.
But, so what we could do is, is there no links to?
Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud about like what the direction path Shay was going down with, like if that file hasn't been modified, and you can simply do the kickstart to restart the service, that does it like cleanly and predictably.
Yeah.
And only then if that plist file changes, then you do something more complex.
Well, or you do nothing.
Or you do nothing, yeah.
You could just say, sorry, we can't do it.
Right.
Not advised.
Because at least then you get, you get some logging of it as it is right now, it just fails and you don't even know.
Right.
You're like, is the minion even running? It's kind of running, but it's not actually doing anything, if I remember
Right.
correctly.
So what do we think about this? So the link I just posted is for the service state inside the mod watch function. So pretty much all other platforms support reload versus full restart. And I think right now on the macOS side, we just use reload. Where reload would be in the context of like using kickstart, and full restart would be in the context of like unloading and reloading. And if like full restart was passed and the name is like com.saltstack.salt.minion, then we could be like, hey, we can't do this. Or I mean, if we really wanted to, we could make another launch daemon to do that, but that's super messy.
I was going to say, I think that from what I'm hearing collectively, we're kind of saying like, yeah, there's really no reason to do this. It doesn't work if you try and do it, which is another good reason not to do it, but also you just shouldn't do it because there's not really anything in there that we need to change now that we don't have that issue with Catalina. So I think that I think the kind of middle path is to just warn somebody about, who's trying to do it. Like, this isn't working. And instead of getting into like really elaborate ways to make something work that maybe we shouldn't. Don't open Pandora's box, Wes.
Yeah, that's a good point. Don't do it.
I assume like that plist file is packaged with salt,
Yes.
right? That comes as packaged with salt. So to me, that it'd be a similar situation if someone went in and started like mucking around in the Python files, like the modules, the states, etc., in the salt install, and then came back and said like, hey, it's not working.
Right.
It's like, well, yeah, because you've modified the install. Unless you know what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing that. And if you do it and something breaks, then sorry.
Yeah.
And if you really wanted to do that, couldn't you just ship your own minion launch DP list that's however you want, not get rid of the one that comes with the package, just get your own like, com.hoo-ha.whatever, and it could load another minion at the same time. I don't know if there's any minion code that checks for another minion to prevent it from running twice, but like if you really wanted to do that, you could probably do it.
Yeah. Okay.
It makes writing the tests real easy too.
What was that?
I was gonna say it makes writing the tests real easy too.
Yeah, and I was gonna say it seems like in this situation the simplest approach is the best one.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I think if there is a message and you do get somebody down the road who's like trying to do this thing that they probably shouldn't do and it's not working, now they've got a point or a thing that they can point to and open an issue and say, this isn't working, this is what I'm trying to do. Then we can better understand like why you might want to do this. But I think we're all like, it's not really a point at this time, so let's not invest any time in it.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, since we've only got a couple of minutes left, what should we work on before the next meeting?
Well, I have a couple things that I'd love to see.
I'm all ears, buddy. What do you want to see?
Well, I want to see the some resolution to that problem where the Git version grain pops the command line developer tools dialog.
Oh, is there an issue open for that?
I don't know.
Do we actually
Every
have an
time I bring
issue?
it up, you're like, I got this.
And
And then I write down a
never
note that
do
says,
it.
remind Wes he's
has
got this.
Okay.
So I suspect it doesn't matter at Square because you're installing the command line developer tools before that's a problem.
Yeah.
But that might not be the case everywhere. So anyway, that's one quick thing. I want to give
But with
Cassandra a
that-
chance since we're running out of time here.
I am just kind of listening and observing and don't really have a lot to contribute right now.
Okay.
Mostly my role in these is just to kind of listen, observe, see if there are areas where I can help with things or messages or any of that. But yeah, just kind of hanging out.
So no feedback for now?
No feedback for now.
No?
I mean, it's
Okay.
interesting to watch how, because I haven't really been in many of the work groups yet, so it's interesting to sit and watch how y'all are resolving everything and the suggestions and the conversation. This is what we want out of work groups for sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of a monoculture at the moment.
Yeah, true.
I mean, Brian's usually here.
Yeah. And he wanted to bring up, are we going to sign the Python and Salt stuff? And then I jokingly said, yes, we're still waiting on your pull request for that. But okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's start small.
I had a quick question.
Let's fix the
Yes.
Git issue. Yeah, go for it.
I'm just curious if anyone using it on Mac, if it's like you guys at Square, or if you've heard anyone else, if they've upgraded to 3000 yet, and if there's been any feedback on it so far.
Our dev machines are on 3000. And everything works fine. The only thing I noticed is that there are some exceptions being thrown on non-Mac modules whenever it tries to load them. And I was going to try and gather those and open an issue. It doesn't you only really see it whenever you do debug or trace, I think.
Okay.
Otherwise, they're not there. But that's like the only thing I noticed.
And that's just on the initial startup.
Yeah. Importing everything.
Yeah, whenever it
Okay.
tries to import all the lazy load, all those beautiful modules.
Got it.
Well, and we're still
So.
just trying to get everybody onto the Python 3 Salt, right?
Yeah, we'll be working on that shortly. But okay, Shay, this Friday, please remind me to fix Git because I can do that. But all right, I think I'm getting kicked out of this room. So thanks for joining, everybody. Cassandra, thanks for coming, and especially for bringing Katie into our lives. We really appreciate that.
Yes, Katie will. Katie's all over my social media accounts. So
I mean, Walter's here too.
who's Walter?
Walter.
Aww.
He's worn out from a hard day of coding.
Yeah, Katie's passed out on the floor beside me now. So.
Nice. All right, everyone. Have a good day.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
All right, see ya.
Sounds good. Bye, everyone.